Well, the day is finally here. The day that I have waited for, the day that I have prayed for all of my life. I will finally marry my husband today. I prayed to God to send me a husband, a good man, a man of God, and he did just that. And I am so excited and happy today because when I walk down that aisle, I will finally become one with the man that I love, Dale Sims Sr. God has finally sent me my protector, my lover, and my Boaz.
This day I finally arrived. The dream and the prayers I have prayed that God would bless me with a beautiful wife that I can love, trust, cherish for the rest of my life. I finally have found a woman who can embrace me and give me the joy that I desire, that I can communicate with, that I can talk to whatever I desire to talk to. This day, I finally came.
As a child, I was born and raised in the church. My mom instilled in us the importance of serving God, making God the center of our lives. And I know that because of that, that's the reason why I'm here today and that God has blessed me so. He's been the center of my life. My mom would always say, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. And I know that if you put God first, that everything else he will bless you and that he will give to you. And I know because of God and because I sought God and I remained patient, that I know that's why he blessed me with Dale.
2012, on a Sunday evening, I had the chance to meet Nicole and Kimball in Joliet, Illinois. I was going to a Sunday service in Lockport, Illinois. And me, Nicole, and I have came to an agreement that we would meet each other at a restaurant. And about an hour, then I can go to the service. But after we talked, it went from 1 hour to 3 to 4 hours. That was a day that I realized that this woman was who I've been desiring to look for as a wife. Her values, her lifestyle, she loved God, she loved church, she loved people, she loved the ministry. And that's what I desire, somebody to be by my side to support me in my ministry.
On Sunday, September 29th, 2013, we had a youth service at our church, and Dale was the speaker for that service. And we had talked about him bringing the message a couple months before, and he had told me that he was going to invite a lot of family and friends so they could hear him speak. So on that Sunday, I was in the choir stand, and I was preparing the youth for their song selections, and the choir had sung, and then Dale had got up to preach, and he brought the message from Proverbs 8, the 18th chapter, and the title of his message was, He Found Her.
2013 was a special day for me. First of all, it was my birthday. I made 46 years old. Second of all, it was the day that I proposed to Nicole. I call it a preaching proposal. I came out of my text, Proverbs 18th chapter and the 22nd verse. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. And my message was, he found her. I had the honor by Pastor Warren Doris Jr. to preach that day, and it was the Prayer Tower Ministry of the youth service. Also that when I gave my text, my message, the whole church erupted. And I had to calm them down and say, that's not what you all think. Because I didn't want Nicole to realize that I was going to propose to her that day.
So when he had told the church what his message was, I immediately got nervous. I'm like, he found her. Okay, what's about to happen? So I remember him preaching, and he came out of Proverbs, the 18th chapter, the 22nd verse, stating, "He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing." So he began to preach, and I'm like, okay, I'm safe. Because I was just nervous that the whole church was up in the uproar. People were screaming and rejoicing. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
I began to conclude my message. I began to walk down from the pulpit and around the church, quoting that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. And Lord, order my steps in your word. As I walked around the church, and to proceed forth the left side of the pulpit, going toward the choir stand, I was walking toward Nicole, still quoting the scripture. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. And Lord, order my steps in your word. As I walked forward towards Nicole, she had her camera phone in my face.
Preaching as a birthday present, and I remember telling him that I was going to get a picture of him preaching in his new robe that I had purchased him. So he began to preach further about the Lord ordering his steps, and he proceeded out of the pulpit and he walked around the church stating, "Lord, order my steps in your word." And at that time, it was a very high time in the church. People were up clapping and rejoicing, and as he came up the far left aisle, he came back in the choir stand, and at that time I had my camera phone in my hand, and I was taking a picture because I was like, man, I got to get a picture of him in his robe. And as I was taking the picture, the next thing I know, Dale was right up in my face, and he had grabbed my hand and pulled me out of the choir stand. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Up to her right hand, and I pulled out the choir stand, and I kneeled on one knee, and I asked her, "Nicole LaShawn Kimball, will you marry me?"
And at that time, again, I just heard a lot of screaming and people rejoicing, and he got down on one knee, and at that time, I froze. I remember freezing. I was like, okay, what is he about to do? He dropped to one knee and he said, "Nicole LaShawn Kimball, will you marry me?"
And she said yes, and I haven't put the ring on her finger yet. But it was a great day. It was an honor day of Nicole and I's life together.
And I remember saying yes, and I hadn't even seen the ring yet. But I was so excited, and at the same time, I was in shock because this is the day that I had waited for, and I had prayed, and I knew that one day Dale would be my husband, and he had asked me to be his wife on that day. And I was so shocked, but I was also happy because at that time, all of my family and a lot of my close friends were there. A lot of Dale's family and his friends were there to witness our engagement. And I was just so happy that that day had happened, and that it happened in my church in front of all the people that I loved.
The day has finally arrived, and I will meet Nicole at the altar to become my wife of a long-time partnership of love, trust, and peace and joy. This is the day that I've been looking for a long time. I prayed, I dreamed about meeting a woman that I can cherish in my life, and it's finally arrived. Thank God.
So today is the day. I am so happy and excited. Today is the day that I will be united in holy matrimony with my husband, Elder Dale Sims. And I am so excited about what the Lord has for us, our future, and I am ready to spend the rest of my life with him. I am so excited. This day is finally here.